Hello everyone, this is Fine from Tech Gaming Villa. I hope you all are well. Today I'm going to talk about the 2025 lineup 2 OLED TV. The left side Sony S90F and the right side Sony Bravia 8.2. Both are 2025 model TV. I will talk about the picture quality of this 2 TV. If you are new in my channel, then please subscribe and press the bell icon for future notifications and upcoming videos. I have another channel named Awesome Tech Gaming Pro, where I upload similar kind of tech videos like TV comparison, sound system, home theater, graphics card. You can check and subscribe. If you see the Samsung S90F, its above average brightness makes it good for bright room viewing, which lacks the anti-reflective screen coating found in the flagship S90F. Despite not being the flagship 65-inch model from Samsung's 2025 OLED range, the Samsung S90F still delivers a gorgeously potent demonstration of what the latest QD-OLED panels are capable of. Its light control and contrast are particularly phenomenal. The ability of each pixel in any OLED screen to deliver its own brightness and color entirely independently of its neighbors always gives OLED TVs an instant and important area of advantage with home theater fans, of course, but for the vast majority of the time, the 65-inch S90F manages to combine the sort of phenomenally inky deep black tones expected of OLED TVs with brighter HDR image highlights than its S90D predecessor managed. And that's while also revealing substantially more consistently visible shadow detail in the darkest image corners. It's better in both bright and dark scenes. Its brightness sees the S90F managing to reach as high as 1500 nits on a 10% white HDR test window, a huge increase of almost 50% over the brightness in the same test circumstances achieved by 2024's S90D. This can be delivered on the S90F2 without causing any of the backlight haloing and clouding problems rival LCD TV technology would typically present when dealing with the sort of contrast the S90F loves to show. Just occasionally, the S90F can still sometimes crush the subtle detail out of the picture in some of its presets. But if this becomes problematic to you, then nudging the TV's shadow detail adjustment up to level 3 or 4 pretty much fixes the issues without causing any unwanted side effects. I was also struck by how clean the S95F's dark picture areas and scenes look. There's really zero sign of the sort of graininess or gray blocking noise that less-able OLED screens can show in dark areas, revealing a fantastically granular level of control over the QD-OLED panel even in challenging near black image areas. Having so much extra brightness in its arsenal hugely increases the intensity. The S95F can pump into HDR playback, resulting in HDR images that look more natural and realistic as well as more dynamic. It fits also into a significantly richer color performance than the S90D served up, getting much more value out of the QD-OLED pixel design. This is particularly and spectacularly obvious in the hard-to-resist standard picture preset. But crucially, the more accurate movie and filmmaker mode presets also look richer and warmer than they did on the S90D without losing that sense of as the director intended authenticity home cinema fans are so often looking for. On that accuracy point, definitely Sony Bravia 8.2 is better, but S95F's measured color and well-balanced results with HDR content in filmmaker mode average out at marginally above the Delta E average error level of 3. Anything below this is where the human eye is considered incapable of perceiving a visible difference between what the TV is showing and the established video standards. But since the results average only misses that Delta E error margin goal of 3 by a funny 0.48, I'm pretty confident that only the most trained eye will have any chance of spotting anything of key about the filmmaker mode's glorious efforts. In fact, thanks to the refinements the Samsung S90F can apply to its more vibrant colors, the filmmaker mode looks as gorgeous in its calmer, more nuanced way as the much more vibrant standard mode does, with both presets bringing out the extremes of the QD OLED panel's capabilities. Extremes that now include a level of subtlety to go with the potency that just wasn't there before. The Samsung S95F's brightness reserves give highlights and colors in image added a punch. These TV extremes of light and color precision also play their part in creating a beautifully crisp and clean picture with both native 4K sources, and thanks to the efforts of Samsung's latest AI picture engine upscaled HD images. The only thing that damages the S95F sense of clarity and detail is the out-of-the-box motion settings Samsung applies to some of its picture presets, which can cause quite aggressive glitches in the picture during camera pans or around over fast-moving objects. Happily though, it's possible to tweak these issues away pretty straightforwardly by choosing a custom setting for a picture clarity settings and then turning off noise reduction and reducing the judder and blur reduction processing components to around level 3 or 4. Unlike most LCD and even some rival OLED screens, the Samsung S90F's pictures don't lose contrast or suffer from shifting color tones when viewed from even a really wide angle, making it a great option for big families or awkward room layouts. I could find only two real issues with the Samsung S95F's pictures. First, despite being much brighter than its predecessor, its brightness falls a fair way short of the sort of numbers we're seeing now from the high-end OLEDs out there from the likes of LG, Samsung and Philips. And second, if the Samsung S95F is being watched in very high levels of ambient light, its typical stunning black levels can start to look a bit gray. The brighter OLEDs out there are typically much more expensive than the S90F, though unless you pick up a 2024 model if you can find one, and the circumstances that cause grayness to creep into black areas are rare, and the degree of grayness milder than it was with the S90D. So let's talk about the Sony Bravia 8. Sony Bravia 8 offers a ton of picture settings, but if you don't feel like digging into too deeply, the cinema mode is an easy and relatively accurate choice for HDR, standard dynamic range content. Professional mode looks even more accurate, but it's way too dim for most rooms, so you will want to raise the backlight, but put peak luminance on medium or high. I went the professional mode with peak luminance raised for HDR and HDR, with only minor adjustments like turning off most of the smoothing. If you really want to make HDR10 content pop, you can raise the tone mapping to brightness preferred, though this sometimes got too punchy for me. For Dolby Vision videos, I use Dolby Vision Dark, except for ultra dim content where Dolby Vision Bright works better. It's gotten to the point where every time this flagship TV, I'm seeing images that look the best I've ever experienced. For the Bravia 8 II, that's most readily displayed in the vibrant clarity and colors. Everything looks great on this TV, but high-quality nature scenes and everyday skin tones are particularly fantastic, even over streaming services. The sea otter scene in Netflix or Planet look so realistic. I almost got seasick as the camera zoomed in on the bobbing waves that seemed to spill out the sides. The TV's phenomenal detail makes even test scenes like my Spears and Mouncil skin tone tests come alive, with faces popping forth like holograms in my living room. Balanced yet incredibly expressive colors enhance the immersion, casting animated scenes like Moana's sapphire blue water and champagne skylines in such a natural light I got chill. It's hard to choose a favorite between the clarity and colors, with one autumn gold dress particularly popping. This Bravia 8 II preview in Tokyo earlier this year, Sony Rev said color accuracy is a big reason the TV uses a QD OLED screen, particularly for the advanced BT2020 spectrum. While content support is still slim, a dash of Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse gave a glimpse of TV's powers, revealing the surrealistic explosions in kaleidoscopic burst. This TV screen uniformity is excellent, even with grilling grayscale tests. While its off-axis accuracy is among the best I've ever seen, topping the LG G5 that stumbled a bit with some minor color loss from the side. Sony's model is also better at upscaling, offering among the sharpest and clearest rendering of 720p and 1080p video I've tested. Low resolution content still tends to look blocky. This Bravia 8 II is no slouch there, especially when it comes to sharp highlights like the burst of lasers from Andor's spaceship or the Fury Orange and white lightning in Mad Max Fury Road. This TV on PlayStation offered another great display of fiery punch, though the pops comes in succinct moments like an explosion or the disintegration of your character each time you fall off a cliff. Otherwise, images are subtle yet sweet, with refined rendering of minute details like the gold enamel of a dragon's egg. HDR isn't nearly as punchy. It's telling that the screen's brightness setting is maxed out even in the cinema mode. A rarity these days, still while it's not as luminous as similarly premium LED TVs or the Prepare G5. The TV's clear shadow detail ensures even dark exterior scenes look clear and natural, especially with peak luminance set to high. The great shadow detail starts with excellent reflection handling, though as mentioned, the Bravia 2's milkier screen left me wanting for black levels. I got used to it, but it stuck out whenever scenes went to deep black in even moderate lighting. I also noticed a few issues with stuttered tracking in vertical panning, such as with screen credits. Otherwise, there's not much this TV gets wrong, offering among the best overall image quality I have tested yet. Dollar for dollar, the LG G5 takes my money, while some reviewers noted H10 banding issues. I didn't see anything after firmware updates, and LG richer depth and zipper punch provides more impact in any room, especially notable given the much higher cost of Sony Bravia 8 II. Note that pricing seems to be in a flux, as Sony has listed 65-inch price is $3,500 US. If you don't need the fiercest screen for a brightly lit room and you value clarity and colors foremost, the Bravia 8 II won't disappoint. It's slight to behold and worthy of serious consideration even in this incredible season of OLED TVs. So what's your thought about these two fine OLED TVs? Which TV you will buy, Samsung S90F or Sony Bravia 8 II? It's hard to tell to choose one. Both TV are fantastic. Please tell me your thoughts in the comments below. That's it from now.